Hey everyone, so happy Wednesday. House of Buckholz here, Diane, and
Virginia.
just the two of us today. We're going to launch our new rental that's just coming to the market in Port St. Lucie, and thought it would be a good time to talk about renting or buying and which is the better option for you and your situation. So here goes. First of all, our rental is in Port St. Lucie. It's a 3-2 for $2,600 a month, including lawn care. Includes all the appliances, stainless steel in the kitchen, washer and dryer. It's fully tile. Has a fenced-in yard, a screened-in patio. Video and pictures will be coming later this week. We are having it freshly painted. You might want to check it out and look in our description, or if you want to send us a message, if you want a virtual tour, or if you want to see it in person, you can do that as well. Speaking of that, what do you think the difference is in renting versus buying?
Renting versus owning. When you're renting, you definitely have less freedom. You can't personalize it. You're very limited in your personalization of it. There's restrictions when it comes to pets, restrictions when it comes to what you're allowed to do with like your door or your patio space and all of that. So it can just be a lot more limited than ownership.
The ownership side, I mean, yeah, you can personalize everything. You have the freedom. If you want to put up a fence, you want to drag in a hot tub, you want to
Completely remodel the
door,
kitchen, all of that.
paint your
Break
front
down a
door hot pink.
wall. Yeah, you want to break down a wall, add an extra room.
Maybe a contractor, possibly get a, well, your mother is, isn't she like added
Um,
rooms onto her house?
She has, yeah, no, we bought a 3-2. She's made it a 4-3. She definitely bought a house with the intention of, I'm going to make this my own thing. And
So,
obviously that took years. I mean, it wasn't an overnight thing, but that was a possibility. With renting, that's never going to be a possibility. But if you're not staying in one place for, years, for example, my mother's had her home since 2009, I think.
mhm.
Obviously she's stayed there this whole time, she's built roots there, but if you're not sure about the place you're living in, the place you're moving to, maybe owning isn't really in the cards for you.
Right. So, and yeah, you definitely need to do what's best for you. I mean, with ownership also comes the maintenance cost that a landlord taking care of it. If
Mm-hmm.
that tree it gets overgrown, you need to go and cut it down before, it falls on your house. Or if
Yeah.
that roof needs to be repaired, that is on the
Mm-hmm.
homeowner. But
Uh-huh.
also you're building equity. You're building your roots, you're building your equity. So it is good. If it's going to be a temporary situation, less than 2 years, then renting is definitely a better option in
Mm-hmm.
that case.
So besides the pros and cons of owning something versus renting something that comes with the freedoms, if someone is thinking about buying but is unsure if that's within their price range, if they think it's too expensive, how would you go about talking to someone?
So if you've been thinking about purchasing, but you think, nope, I'm stuck in a rental, I'll never be able to afford it. And there's a lot of great lenders out there that have different programs. And of course, the more money that you can save and the more that you can put down, that's going to lessen your payments. But with as little as 3% down can get you into a home. So, rule of thumb is every $800 per month that you're spending is $100,000 that you can borrow. So if you're looking at something, say, in like the 2,400 plus monthly rental, then
Mm-hmm.
you're probably going to be able to afford somewhere around like a $300,000 house. And those are going to be pretty similar in terms of what the house, looks like, its age, its feel, its update. So translating from the rental to the purchase, not going to be that much different in terms of house. It's just in terms of the benefit that you're going to get. So if you're looking to rent, everybody wants at least first, last, and security. So if you're looking at something, around the 2,600 range, you're going to come up with around 7,000, 7,500 to put down. Plus, if there's any like pet deposits or any type of, you're going to have an application fee, and those range from $50 to $200. So you're still going to have to come up with some out of pocket. And for purchase, if it's as little as 3% for a $300,000 house, I mean, you're looking at 9,000 coming up with that. Then you do have some closing costs, but in this market, closing costs, you can ask the seller to maybe take on some of that closing cost for you. So again,
Hmm.
it's something that's really workable that you can get into. So what do you think some of the long-term financial pros and cons would be in this rent versus buying?
We could use our rental as an example. So our rental is 2,600 a month, right?
Mhm.
So in 3 years, you would have paid 93,000 to a landlord, right? For just the rental.
Right.
But if you were to own the property, you'd still be paying that money, but to yourself in a mortgage. And a house appreciates with every year, usually around like 2 to 3%, usually not unless it's 2020 and there's a crazy pandemic going on. So
Yeah.
usually 2 to 3%. So you could potentially be making 27,000 just from owning a home versus, paying out and not being able to make anything back
Mhm.
by renting a home.
Right. So if you sold in 3 years, you could make 27,000. And then the longer you keep it, of course, appreciation
Goes
keeps
up and up.
going more and
Yeah.
more. Our home has significantly improved. Your mom has made improvements. So not only with appreciation, but also the improvements. Her home is significantly improved. So again,
Right.
hopefully a year you're going to stay there. You can still purchase and it may be okay, but at least holding it on to, you're going to be there 3 years, 5 years, 15 years. It's definitely a good investment.
Hmm.
Also, landlords, you don't control the price. The
Right.
landlords
Hmm.
can raise your rent, and it could be a cost to them. It could be, different motivations, but rents, that is outside of your control. Whereas if a
Hmm.
mortgage, you will have the same payment. Now, taxes and insurance, those are variables, but
Right.
your base principal and interest are going to be the same throughout
Right.
your loan.
Actually, we have a friend here in Orlando who they rent their apartment, but outside of their control, the apartment made up their mind that they need to modernize the look of the apartment and paint everything white and kind of put in like cheaper flooring that looks newer. And because of those improvements, my friends didn't even want to make, now their rent has to go up. Not only is it out of your control, but it might even cost you in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. So, and again, it's not to say anything, negative about rentals because you're not going to be there very long. And most rentals are annual leases. So, you're going to
Right.
stay there for a year, you're going to stay there for, 2 years. They're great, but long term, you definitely don't have the freedom long term as you do in home ownership. And of course, that's
Right.
always with a caveat. There's always, different things that are outside of your control. You do have the freedom to sell your home as well if you decide you no longer want to be there because of jobs or too much traffic or not enough people. Everyone's left the area or something,
Right.
whatever it is. So
Yeah.
a little easier to
Yeah.
change in some of those.
Everyone's different. Everyone has their own reasons to rent, to buy, to sell, to move, to leave. So it really is just a case by case basis. But I think that's why it's important to talk about it so that people can look at their finances, look at their situation, and think about what is best for them.
Absolutely. And if you need help in any of those, we are happy to help you navigate this process, put you in touch with lenders that can help out, put you in touch with good leasing agency, or help you to find a rental. So we do it all, Treasure Coast and Orlando. So reach out to us. All of our contact information is going to be in the description below. And thanks for tuning in this week.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.